Hello everybody, my name is Gang. Cool, hope you guys have an amazing day. Of course, today we are here finally doing our votes for the 2024 Game Awards. Now, in case you guys don't know, the Game Awards is actually happening tomorrow, the 10th anniversary, where everything, including Game of the Year, will be revealed. I'm going to be live streaming it live when it happens, so be sure to be on this channel when it happens. If you guys are new, subscribe today, as I do post content like this daily to join the Aztec Empire. Without further ado, y'all, we're going to be voting on all of these categories. I believe there's 29 different sections, and we're going to be voting through all of them right now, starting off with the best esports team and working our way to the final one being the Game of the Year. Obviously, this is all my personal preference. This is all my own opinion. It doesn't mean that it's like right or anything, right? But let's get started. And I think for the best esports team, without a doubt, is going to be T1. Pretty sure they brought it home for the Worlds this year. They're really good. One of the best, if not the best, esports player in any game ever, being Faker from League of Legends. Of course, you know, he's a huge name. He is insane. He is inhuman. He is a legend, without a doubt. He has so much to his name, and he deserves every single amount of respect that he's ever gotten. He is phenomenal. I'm sure all of these other esports teams are great, but bro, he's just on another level. Next up, we have the best esports athlete. And like I said, bro, without a doubt, it is going to be Faker. Faker, he's just inhuman. There's just no way that he does what he does and he's human, you know? In the League of Legends community, he has a name. They call him the Unkillable Demon King. If that's not deserving of, esports athlete of the year, I don't know what is. Next up, we have the best esports game. And this is, I feel like it's always just going to be League of Legends. They're pushing like 15 years at this point being in the game. And it's just, it's brighter than ever, Even now, especially this year with Arcane Season 2 finally ending. It was a phenomenal series. There's been so many new players going. I returned back to League just to try it out. And, it's been a lot of fun, Next up, we have the Content Creators of the Year. Well, for a streamer or content creator who has made an important and positive impact on the community, I think this, obviously, since it's the Game Awards, it focuses a lot more on the gaming side of things as opposed to, creating content in general. So there's a lot of people that I feel like should be here that isn't here. But obviously, it's the Game Awards, right? They're going to be focusing solely on gamers. I recognize a couple of these people. I know Typical Gamer was in, like, the State Farm Gamerhood a couple years ago. There's a VTuber here. I don't recognize her personally, but it's a VTuber, so they're probably gonna win. I'm voting Queso. I love Queso. Shout out Queso, bro. Such a positive light in this dark time. Next up, the most anticipated game. Bro, I feel like without a doubt, I mean, we know what it is, right? Just staring at these 5 pictures. My personal... I'm really looking forward to Ghost of Yotei just because Ghost of Tsushima was a life-changing experience. I really do want to start playing Monster Hunter because there's so many of these, and it's a Capcom game. I love Capcom. Death Stranding, I still got to play the first one. Metroid has always been really cool, but it's GTA, right? It's always going to be GTA. If this doesn't win, we know for a fact 100% it is, in some way, shape, or form, not legit, right? Because it's GTA, right? It's GTA. We've waited for this game for like 14 years. Next up, best adaptation. I don't even need to look at the other ones, bro. Arcane is on a whole other level. Fallout was really cool. Also, fun fact, in case you don't know at this point, Jinx's voice actor is Ella Purnell, which is also the main character in the Fallout show. So she's going to be winning regardless, right? I've heard Knuckles is cool. I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot of people say it's cool. I didn't even know there was a Yakuza Like a Dragon show or movie or whatever this is. And I really need to watch this. I want to watch this. I think this is on Netflix. I really want to watch it. But, dude, Arcane is on a whole other level. It is in discussion, in my opinion, for top 3 animated pieces of media of all time. Next to, Spider-Verse and something else that I can't think of right now. Next up is the best multiplayer. And honestly, dude, I've been having so much fun with the zombies, in particular when it comes to Black Ops 6. Taking a look at all these, bro, I would be surprised if Tekken didn't win. Tekken's always been one of the biggest names in the fighting game community ever, right? The FGC has always appreciated a lot of the Tekken games, but especially Tekken 7 was probably the biggest, fighting game esports scene for the longest time. And Tekken 8 was highly looked forward to, anticipated. I feel like this game was really good. I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun. I've seen a lot of people really have some fun on this. Warhammer was really hyped up. I didn't hear a lot of discussion afterwards. Helldiver was cool for a while, up until, you know, the whole PlayStation thing. With that being said, let's see. Online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. So this is going off of the experience of playing with other people. I would say it's probably Helldivers. It's probably going to be Helldivers. I feel like when it comes to just playing together and having that experience, the whole climax of the Helldivers scene, it was such a closely knitted together community, you know. So I'm gonna say it's that. Next up is best sports or racing game. I heard a lot of, dude, I'm surprised that the college football game isn't on here. 2K24 is a lot of fun. This might be cool. F1 I heard was really good. 2K is 2K. Haven't heard a lot about Top Spin. I'm gonna personally go with 2K24. It's a lot of fun. I'd be happy if, you know, I mean, 2K, it's always 2K, you know. Next up is the best sim or strategy game. Game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation. I heard a little bit about Frostpunk. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know any of these games. This isn't my genre. I don't play any of these games. I'm gonna go with Frostpunk just because I've heard more about that than anything else here. Next up, we got the best family game. And bro, I'm gonna be honest, I'm really hoping it's Astrobot. Now, I might be a little biased because, you know, I've always going to choose PlayStation over anything else. And, you know, don't get me wrong, Nintendo is Nintendo. I love all of these games and their respective franchises. Legend of Zelda has always been very prominent. Same thing with Mario. I've heard a lot about this game, like I said earlier. I haven't heard much about this game at all. But Astrobot, it's just such a beautiful experience. It's what you would hope for a platforming game to be. And I really hope it wins something. Honestly, if it won Game of the Year, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be disappointed at all. Next up is the best fighting game. I feel like this is kind of cheating, and it's kind of crazy to say because, first off, Multiverses during its open, you know, early access, open beta, whatever you want to call it, 2 years ago, it was nominated for the best fighting game, and it actually won. So if it won a second time after being nominated twice in 2 different years, that would be insane. You know, if we're talking about all time, this is like a remaster of all of the best Marvel vs. Capcom games. I feel like that's kind of cheating because in the fighting game community, this is one of the biggest names ever. So it would just be insane if this didn't win. Tekken 8, like I said earlier, it was really hyped up, really looked forward to. I like this game a lot. I haven't played it in a long time, but it's a lot of fun. And in terms of like fighting games, it's really cool. I've heard a lot about Grand Blue over the years, but for me personally, it's Sparking Zero. I love Sparking Zero. It was so much fun. Next up, we have the best RPG, and boy, oh boy, they put Elden Ring here. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. This is a very difficult choice to make because JRPGs are always on top of it every single year. I've heard a lot about Metaphor. I've seen a little bit of the gameplay, very similar to Persona, which I think the universes are kind of like linked in some way, shape, or form. So, you know, it deserves all of its hype. I think, in my personal opinion, if I'm taking a look at all of these, right, I feel like it's between Metaphor, which I've heard is a really masterful, beautiful art piece, you know. Final Fantasy Rebirth, it's Final Fantasy VII. And for them to do what they did, to bring it back, not only remastered a couple years ago, but to make a sequel to a remaster, and for them to pull it off as great as they did, it's deserving of all of its praise. That being said, you know, my personal experience, what I really enjoyed, I know a lot of other people in the entire community, and the gaming community in general, so many people love this game, and for special reason, you know. It was a beautiful experience. I love being in the Elden Ring community. It's been so much fun, you know, platinuming the game the first time it came around, beating it 4 different times, leading up to the DLC, and seeing how everyone enjoyed the DLC experience. It was a lot of fun. Next up, we have the best action and adventure game. I know which one it's not gonna be. I'm not gonna say which one it isn't, but we all know. I've heard a lot about this game. This game's cool. Dude, it's crazy. I haven't heard anything about this game releasing. Silent Hill 2 is cool. It's weird that they don't have like a horror game category. That's so crazy to me. Silent Hill 2, best action adventure, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. I guess that is technically what Silent Hill is, right? It's combat and puzzles. I mean, that's all the game is, really. Other than the beautiful immersive experience that is a story, action adventure, traversal, and puzzle solving. I feel like that's just platformer, right? It's this or Prince of Persia, in my honest opinion. Silent Hill 2, I hope it wins something because it's such a good game. Next up, action game. The action genre focused primarily on combat. I think this is one of the first years, if ever, that I feel like Call of Duty deserves a lot of praise for what they did with the combat system. The Omni movement has been like the healthiest, greatest, coolest, interesting design choice that they've ever made in a Call of Duty thus far. I feel like all of it just makes sense, and it's really what should have been the movement forever, right? For them to do what they did in Black Ops 6 is really cool, and I really hope they keep that up in the future when it comes to like innovation for Call of Duty games. That being said, focused on combat, it's between Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade for me, honestly. Man, it sucks so much because I just want Stellar Blade to win something. I don't care what it is. I hope it wins something. This game was such a fun experience, and it was completely overshadowed by a lot of things, especially Elden Ring. Once again, Elden Ring doing what they did and overshadowing a game that came out, like a month or two prior. Black Myth Wukong, it's a beautiful experience. The combat in that game is so good. Honestly, like, which game did I have more fun in when it came to combat? This is such a soul-crushing choice. I'm gonna go with Wukong. Best VR or AR experience, bro. I don't know much about these. I'm gonna go with Arkham Shadow because I have seen a couple people's like halfway through the game playthrough, and it just looks phenomenal. Some people are saying it's one of the best Arkham games ever. Next up, best mobile game. This is where Balatro starts to peek its head through the nominations, and I haven't heard anything about it until it was nominated. AFK Journey, I know was pretty big. That was a huge advertised mobile game on my TikTok feed. I don't know, Wuthering Waves, is this like a Genshin game? Oh, wait, this is a Genshin game too. I've seen a little bit about this game. It looks pretty cool. The combat looked cool when it was like highly advertised when it first came out. Me personally, I played this game a lot. I just pulled EX Gengar. I'm paying it back. Next up, best debut indie game. I don't know much about these. Probably gonna go with Balatro just because it's nominated for Game of the Year, so it must be good. Next up is best independent game. How is that different? Creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Okay, so this is like how it's made. I heard that this dude, like, the developer did a lot when it came to this game, so I'm gonna go with that. We're gonna go with the best community support. Oh, dang! Nah. They cook with this category, bro. Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the most, like, I don't want to say glazed, but it's like one of the most hyperactive communities I've ever seen. People defend this more than they would defend criminal cases. I don't know. It could be up there. Final Fantasy does have a really active community. No Man's Sky, the fact that it's still talked about, even though it flopped super hard on release, I feel like goes to show a lot about its community support. But Fortnite, bro. Fortnite is still one of the, if not the biggest battle royale to this day. After being released so long, they've done so much with like the OG stuff. The new season is really big too, and obviously, the new OG season is still massive. I'm gonna go with that. Next up is best ongoing. Yeah, I feel like it's still Fortnite. Destiny 2 could be up there, but I feel like it fizzled out after a while. Diablo is a lot of fun, but when it comes to like best ongoing, not Helldivers. It was for a while, but ongoing, right? Like to this day, ongoing. It's Fortnite. Evolving over time. Yeah, that's Fortnite. Next up is Games for Impact. Thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Ooh. I mean, all of these games look like they are really, like, these three look like they're, like, really, like, pro-social meaning or message. I'm gonna be honest, though. Tales of Kenzara was made by the creator, and I can't remember if he voices the main character or not, but the creator of this game, I remember, made this entire game in remembrance of his father who passed, unfortunately, which is it's a beautiful message to immortalize someone's memory like that in such a beautiful way. And for it to, I'm sure the people who played it, it means something to everyone in their own way, whether that's a super deep message or someone who just really enjoyed the experience. For it to be in memory in itself a message to someone's legacy, that's such a beautiful thing, and I really appreciate that as a gamer and as an artist, as a visionary, whatever you want to call it. Like that's such a beautiful thing, and I appreciate that wholeheartedly. Next up is innovation in accessibility. Accessibility, pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Black Ops 6, I feel like, does a lot when it comes to accessibility. Blizzard does too. Yeah, I feel like it's between these two. I'm gonna go with Call of Duty, honestly. Yeah. Hope it wins a category, bro. That'd be super cool. Next up is the best performance. Oh boy. Awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. We got Brianna White, which I think is Tifa in Final Fantasy. Hannah Tell, which is our homegirl, right? Humberly Gonzalez, Luke Roberts, and Melina Wergens. Crazy to say, man. Our boy James? I feel like it's between James and Tifa. I'm gonna go Tifa. Best audio design. Ooh. Audio design. I mean, Call of Duty, I've always appreciated a lot of the sound design that goes into those games. Silent Hill 2, I feel like it perfectly captured everything that the OG was. Astrobot was a lot of fun too when it came to sound design. Rebirth had some great sound design too. I'm sure Senua's Saga did. I'm gonna go with Silent Hill 2 for audio design. Next up is best score and music. Oh my god. Stellar Blade. I'm voting Stellar Blade because I am biased. I don't care. This is a biased voting thing. Astrobot was a lot of fun. Dude, Final Fantasy and ReFantazio are on a completely different level when it comes to score, soundtrack, design, whatever you want to call it. These games are masterful because of their scores in particular. Silent Hill is just beautiful. But I'm going Stellar Blade. When I played this game, my ears tingled, bro. I felt such a different level of like music when I played this game. A lot of the music I went back and listened to in my spare time. Same thing with like I think it's the battle theme for Metaphor. It's so cool, but I'm going Stellar Blade, bro. I loved it. Its soundtrack like stood with me and it stuck with me for a very long time. Next up is best art direction. Bro, I don't care what anyone on this planet says, it's Black Myth Wukong, and I'll explain why. I did a lot of deep diving into the research when it came to this game, and I spoke about this, a couple weeks ago in a video that I made. But Black Myth Wukong, when it came to the development scene, because it is a Chinese-based game, not only in development, but in lore and in topic, when it came to developing it, there wasn't a lot of assets to create the game, like for Chinese architecture. So the developers went to China and they scanned actual historical sites to put in their game. So temples and stuff like that, when it comes to like Chapter 3 in particular, all of those are based off of real historical sites that they like one-to-one created inside of an animation software just to put in their game for like background stuff that a lot of people may not even pay attention to. Not only that, but when it comes to like after the end of each chapter, you get that huge mural that's interactive and you get to see like the different pieces that are put into each of the stories when it's like the bosses or like the main storyline or like the side quests and stuff like that. This game is on a whole other level. I would actually be pretty disappointed if Wukong didn't win this category in particular. Elden Ring obviously is beautiful. You take a look at like the stunning landscapes. A lot of the Shadow of the Erdtree bosses in particular are super eye-catching. But I'm going with Black Myth Wukong, bro. Black Myth Wukong is just, it's beautiful. It really is. It deserves that category, if not anything else. Next up is Best Narrative. Outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Dang. Storytelling. I'm gonna go with Silent Hill. I'm gonna go with Silent Hill, man. Best game direction. Outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I think this is like how the game unfolds through like a narrative perspective. If it's like the journey you take from beginning to end to like, you know, actually play through the game. Game direction. That's, dude, I mean, this had so many beautiful shots, especially the opening. I'm gonna go with Wukong again over any of these. Game direction, right? Like, I mean, narratively speaking, of course, there's not much story to follow in Elden Ring. It's like every boss has their own story, and it doesn't always connect to the larger, like, you know, Mikola going through the steps to become the ascended god or whatever he's trying to do. So I'm gonna go with Wukong again. Next up, y'all, the game of the year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. Astrobot by Team Asobi, Balatro by Local Thunk, Black Myth Wukong, Game Science, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree from Software, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Square Enix, and Metaphor ReFantazio Atlas. Astrobot is one of the best platforming games we've gotten in the past 10 years. It's a beautiful experience. This game is so bright and colorful and just a fun experience, which really is what a game should be. Reminds me a lot of Little Big Planet, which I really grew up on. That was my childhood, one of my favorite games of all time. I love Little Big Planet, and for Astrobot to really carry on that legacy, not only that, but to showcase a lot of like the huge staples when it comes to PlayStation gaming, and even more than that, you know. Balatro, I think, is a pretty big step when it comes to indie developers. I've seen a lot about this in the talks, and I went back and did my own research when I first heard about this. I think it's pretty deserving of its title. For it to be a indie game and to make such a big impact is really deserving of anything else. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is a beautiful game. I love Elden Ring. I platinumed it when I first played it. My first From Software game, my first Soulsborne game in general. And it was a beautiful game. It's an experience I will never forget. One of, if not the biggest time in our entire YouTube community when it came to like just presence and so many new faces in our community. A lot of huge milestones were reached when I played Elden Ring the first time. And when the second one came around, it was a lot of fun. It is a DLC. It was a lot of fun nonetheless. And it's a huge, whole inclusive story, I would say. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, to do what they did to make a continuing story based off of a remake of a game that's very old, but for them to remaster, like, for them to keep intact what made the original one so good, and to make a entirely new story with a beautiful conclusion and everything like that, I think is amazing. Metaphor ReFantazio is a testimony. It's a statement in the gaming community. It really goes to show how beautiful a game can be. With that being said, y'all, my game of the year is Black Myth Wukong. This game is beautiful in every sense of the word. It is my game of the year. This game was so much fun. It is beautiful. The story that it tells is amazing. For them to take a genre of storytelling, for them to do Chinese mythology in general, something that very, very rarely makes its way over into the West, for Wukong to be such a huge figure that he is in storytelling, yet he's very rarely done in a huge AAA way over here in the West. For him to finally get a video game by a developer, no less, that has never made a game prior to this one in a full-scale release. This game is so well done. It's beautiful. All of the sound effects, the design, the music, the fighting, the combat system, all of the in-depth, skill trees that you can do, the replayability, the hidden boss fights, the secret missions, everything in between, it all feels so worth it when you're playing this game. The art direction is beautiful. The game direction was phenomenal. Everything about this game, there was so much love and care put into it. And with that being said, y'all, in the next 24 hours, we will get our final decision, our final announcement to who Game of the Year is. And in my personal opinion, the only one that I would be super taken aback, like, wow, really? That wins this category would be Balatro. That would be the only one where I'm like, wow, I didn't hear anything about this. So if it won Game of the Year, I would be pretty surprised. Any of these games I would be super happy with, right? Elden Ring obviously was a huge, phenomenal experience. It's a DLC, and like game of the year, I feel like should go to like a full scale release game as opposed to a DLC. But I wouldn't be mad at all. I would be very happy if Shadow of the Erdtree won as well. Any of these games, I would be super happy with. My personal pick will be Wukong. It was just a phenomenal game, and I really enjoyed it. I love this game so much. That is it for today, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was my 29 votes across all categories for the Game Awards 2024. We will find out all of these categories and their winners tomorrow. Please tune in, y'all. I would love to watch it with you guys. Not only will it be a huge showcase to all of the games that came out this year, but it will also be a lot of announcements because this is the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards. I would assume that they're going to do this year very big. And when it comes to announcements, I would hope that there's going to be big stuff for a lot of things, right? I've heard that there is going to be some God of War announcements sometime like this month. So tomorrow's the perfect time to do it, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Of course, if you guys are new, subscribe today. Join the Aztec Empire. Let me know your guys' personal picks for all of these categories, and in particular, Game of the Year. What are you guys voting for? Are you guys hyped for tomorrow? Let me know. Tune in, and I will see you guys there. Have a great day. Stay safe. Take care. Peace. Adios. And, of course, until next time. Bye-bye, y'all.